You are being lied to by almost every dating guru on the internet. They tell you to buy the expensive watch, memorize the alpha male script, and project extreme dominance to get the girl. But underneath all that performative armor, you are terrified of rejection. And the absolute worst part is that she smells that hidden terror the second you walk into the room. If you keep doing what you are doing, you will spend the rest of your life as a dancing monkey begging for a coin of attention. But there is exactly one psychological shift, one specific internal rewire that flips this entire dynamic upside down. I am going to reveal exactly what this crucial shift is at the very end of this video, and once you hear it, the way women look at you will never be the same again. But before we get to that ultimate trigger, we need to examine why your current strategy is slowly destroying your self-worth. You are treating attraction like a high-stakes job interview. You curate your social media to look like a movie. You rehearse your jokes in the mirror. You try to be the loudest, most impressive guy in the room. And this is exactly where 99% of men dig their own graves. Women do not want the loudest guy in the room. They want the most grounded guy in the room. They want the guy who remains completely unaffected by the noise of the room. But most guys miss this because they fundamentally misunderstand female biology. You think she is a judge scoring an Olympic routine? She is actually a biological radar system scanning for emotional safety. Let that sink in for a second. We are talking about millions of years of evolutionary wiring. Her nervous system is designed to detect whether a man is a safe harbor or a collapsing bridge. When you perform for her, you are signaling that you need her approval to feel good about yourself. And this brings us to the most uncomfortable realization. Needing her approval makes you a collapsing bridge. If your emotional state depends on whether she texts back within 10 minutes, you are entirely unstable. You might have a six-figure salary, a perfect jawline, and a flawless wardrobe. But the brutal truth is that external achievements cannot mask internal fragility. If your frame is made of glass, she will shatter it just by changing her tone of voice. And this is where the real trap is sprung. You wonder why she suddenly pulls away after a great third date. You did everything right. You paid for dinner. You opened the doors. You listened to her talk about her day. But you did those things with a hidden agenda. You were operating on a covert contract. You thought that if you deposited enough nice guy tokens, she would owe you attraction. She felt the transaction, and it repulsed her. But here is the secret that changes the entire game. Attraction is never a transaction. Attraction is a byproduct of internal stability colliding with external presence. Think about the classic Silicon Valley millionaire who cannot keep a girlfriend. He has all the resources in the world. He buys her a Tesla, he takes her to Paris, but when she gets moody, he completely panics. He starts over-explaining. He starts apologizing for things he didn't do. He tries to buy his way back into her good graces. Why does he do this? Because his power is entirely external. Take away his bank account, and he is a terrified little boy. Women feel this disparity instantly. They sense the vast, empty chasm between his worldly success and his internal void. Now contrast that with the concept of the emotional anchor. And this concept alone will separate you from every other man she will ever meet. Imagine a massive storm out on the open ocean. The water is chaotic, violently crashing in every direction. Women experience emotions much like that ocean. They are complex, deep, and sometimes turbulent. Most men try to be the wind. They try to control the waves. They try to logic her out of her feelings. They say things like, "You shouldn't be mad about that." And this is a catastrophic mistake. The grounded man does not try to fight the ocean. He is the anchor resting at the absolute bottom of the sea. It is completely dark, heavy, and silent down there. He is unbothered by the storm above. Because he remains still, the ocean eventually calms around him. He does not need her to be happy for him to be okay. And this is the paradox that most guys cannot wrap their heads around. The less you need her to regulate your emotions, the more she will crave your presence. Radical self-sufficiency is the ultimate aphrodisiac. But achieving this requires you to confront a painful reality. You have been using women as emotional pacifiers. You chase them because you want them to fill a hole inside of you. You want them to tell you that you are handsome, successful, and worthy of love. But a woman is not a therapist, and she is certainly not a mirror for your broken ego. If you approach her with an empty cup, begging for a drop of validation, she will instinctively dry up. Biological survival dictates that she cannot attach herself to a parasite. And yes, seeking constant external validation makes you an emotional parasite, but the rabbit hole goes much deeper than that. Let us examine what happens to a woman's nervous system when she is around a truly grounded man. Her brain is constantly asking one subconscious question: can this man handle me at my worst without breaking? When you react to her every whim, you answer no. When you change your opinions to match hers, you answer no. When you abandon your friends and your purpose just to hang out with her, you scream no. A man who abandons his own kingdom to serve in hers is fundamentally untrustworthy. If you do not respect your own boundaries, why on earth would she respect you? And this is where the paradigm shift must occur. You must stop trying to be attractive and start focusing on being solid. Solidity means that your self-image is generated from within. You know your flaws. You accept your dark side. You are acutely aware of your weaknesses, but you do not hide from them. You own them. When a man operates from radical self-acceptance, he stops performing. His voice drops. His movements slow down. He looks people directly in the eye without flinching. This cannot be faked with a pickup artist script. It must be cultivated through the fire of building your own internal resilience. Think about the men who effortlessly draw women toward them. They are not always the richest or the best looking, but they all share a singular defining trait. They are absolutely certain of who they are. They are not auditioning for the role of her boyfriend. They are simply existing in their own reality, and they are inviting her to join if she wants to. If she says no, their reality does not crumble. They just keep moving forward. That forward momentum is intoxicating to the feminine psyche. It signals a man who is on a mission. A man on a mission has a purpose that supersedes his desire for casual validation. And here is a bitter pill to swallow. If your biggest goal in life is to get women, you will never truly get them. They will always remain out of reach, hovering just beyond your grasp, mocking your desperation. Why? Because a woman wants to be a beautiful addition to a man's grand adventure, not the entire focus of his miserable existence. When you place her on a pedestal, you force her to look down on you, and nobody feels attraction while looking down. But when you place your purpose, your internal stability, and your self-respect on that pedestal, everything changes. She finally has someone to look up to. She finally has a structure she can lean against. This requires doing the lonely, unglamorous work behind closed doors. It means sitting with your anxiety instead of numbing it with cheap dopamine. It means going to the gym when you are exhausted. It means building a skill set that makes you unignorable in the marketplace. It means facing the traumas and insecurities you have been running from since childhood. You must forge a core that cannot be broken by a text message left unread. And this brings us to the moment of truth. I told you at the beginning that there was one specific psychological shift that changes everything. The ultimate mystery of attraction solved in a single realization. And here it is. You must completely kill the part of you that hopes she likes you and replace it with a hyper-vigilant filter that demands to know if she is actually good enough for your life. You flip the camera around. You stop being the contestant and you become the prize. You realize that your internal stability, the peace you have built, the purpose you are chasing is the most valuable asset in the room. You guard that peace fiercely. You do not hand it over to a pretty face just because she smiled at you. You vet her. You watch her behavior. You demand consistency, loyalty, and peace. If she brings drama, you cut her off without a second thought. Because a man who is truly internally stable would rather be alone forever than compromise his peace for mediocre company. The second you genuinely adopt this mindset, not as a tactic, but as a deeply held truth, your aura changes. Women will stop seeing you as another eager puppy. They will see a fortress. They will see a challenge. They will see a man who cannot be bought, cannot be manipulated, and cannot be broken. And that is exactly when they will start chasing you. The game was never about mastering women. It was always about mastering yourself. Stop chasing ghosts. Build the fortress, become the anchor. Your entire life transforms the moment you decide your own validation is the only currency that matters.